that I've never been against immigration. I'm not against immigration now, but uncontrolled immigration makes your country worse, and it makes it less tidy, and it makes it dirtier, which I said, and they claim that I called immigrants dirty because I was a Nazi. I don't think immigrants are dirty. I'm not a Nazi. I like virtually every immigrant I've ever met, legal or illegal, but it is a fact when you go, I grew up near the border, so I know if you have chaos anywhere, it's going to be untidy. And I believe in a country that is tidy, which means that even if you don't have a lot of money, you live in pleasant circumstances. You're not crowded shoulder to shoulder in some crappy, tenement or split level house in the exurbs among garbage. Like, I believe in the dignity of the average person. That's what I was trying to say. And this is not conducive to human dignity at all. We're treating these people like animals in the way that we're using them and manipulating them, these foreigners. And we're treating our own population with no respect whatsoever. And anyway, I was a racist for saying that, but I still believe it.
So I have come around on this issue, and I realized that there actually is a game being played. And here is Dick Durbin, and he's going to give the game away. This is about a week or two ago. Yeah. Dick Durbin gave a speech, and it was all about why we need immigration and why we have to take all the people who are here illegally and as quickly as possible turn them into citizens. And he's going to give the game away right here. Here we go. And by the way, he's got all the fire in the belly of Fred Rogers. Here we go. Watch.
We need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there is also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now.
Why?
The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month.
So he just so there it is. The reason why our border has about the same level of security as your Facebook page is because we need foreign slaves as conscripts. That's what we do. The Yankees are wising up to the scam of these foreign wars, and what's going to drive people into the shredder? The old standby, desperation.
This is gangs of New York.
So, right. So there's people who don't want to join their own military, but they want to go to someone else's country and join their military. That's really what they want. So we need immigrants for our Squid Games. That's what he's saying. Hey, and not just for the military.
And that's the best case scenario. That's the best case. I mean, first of all, they drove a lot of, anyone with self-respect was already driven out of the military by the vax mandates. So the high testosterone population has dropped dramatically in the military, and they do have a massive recruiting problem. Now, I would say the answer is clean up the military, give it missions that the average person can support. People aren't joining the military because they don't support the mission.
That's right.
Right? They don't want to die or send their sons to die for Ukraine. Sorry. But we should consider another possibility here. So if they were about 50 million people without undocumented, illegal, whatever you want to call them, foreign nationals in our country who are not citizens. In a lot of cases, we don't know who they are. So if you're, and the majority of the ones who have come over the last 3 years are young military-age men. So if we say, okay, all of a sudden you get to join the military, and our military is populated by people who don't know anything about the United States at all, you have to consider the possibility that the point is not to use them to fight another foreign war, but the point may be to use them domestically. And the U.S. military increasingly, certainly over the last 3 years, but really over the last couple of decades, has been used for domestic purposes, not the National Guards. That's constitutional. The governor calls the guard out, right? There's a problem. But the standing U.S. military has been used, and its intel services have been used. And that is the case on January 6th, but I think it's the case much more often than that. So if all of a sudden you're saying our military, we should give automatic weapons to people who just got here from foreign countries who we know nothing about at all, and those people can be used to keep order in the United States, I mean, this is literally how Rome fell. I mean, as you may or may not
Pretty
know,
on the
literally
nose.
taking foreigners into the legions, and all of a sudden they're like, well, wait a second, you know, we don't know what this Rome thing is, and we're not into it. And they ended the empire. You know, they ended Rome. So we should be very careful about this because it's at scale, because it's tens of millions of people. It's not like if you're my age, 54, you grew up thinking, well, you know, I have very positive feelings. Again, I grew up near the border of immigrants, like trying hard and like, you know, it's hard to get here. It's a hassle. You're doing all the shit jobs no one will do. And it's sort of like good people, I would say. But if you import tens of millions of people all at once, like you don't know exactly who's there or why they're here, or like, what is this? You could capsize your country really easily with stuff like this. And last thing I'll say is that Dick Durbin's an evil man. I don't think he's mistaken. I don't think he's misguided. I don't think any of this is an accident. I think he's a servant of evil. And I really mean that.
Tucker, he said he's going to make them cops as well.
Oh, wait, I'll go on.
Yeah.
Watch this. So he has more to say. So then he goes on. Another reason why. So we have this open border. Here we go.
Find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country.
Yeah.
Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
Yeah, so we just need to take away every other avenue and then let them walk up the ramp just like cattle. Sometimes it amazes me how much our culture operates like a factory farm. It really is. I think it's important to know how the sausage is being made, but if they are using us to make the sausages.
Let me tell you
the
about
price of college come down then if they're doing this with the recruiting.
Here we go. I know. Here we go. So listen, he's got more to say.
others that we need. In my state of Illinois, in inner city in Chicago, in the rural areas downstate, we're holding our breath, hoping that we can keep hospitals open. You know why? We don't have enough medical personnel.
What?
And yet there are people all around this world who have medical credentials as doctors and nurses and skilled technicians who want to come to the United States, but we don't give them the chance. I think it's a reasonable thing to do. I think it would make us a better nation and a healthier nation.
So there aren't enough Americans that are going into medical school or nursing schools, Tucker? Did you know that there's empty medical schools all across the country? I didn't know this. Did you know that?
No, I do think we're seeing an actual revolution. I think the immigration thing, it's been so poisoned by the race question.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit